In the future, human has learned how to manage time. Everyone can live up to 25 years old. Then the clock will start to count down. You have 1 year. That's the countdown time for everyone. That's also all the fortune they have. If you want to continue to live, then you have to find ways to increase your time. Part-time job, gambling, robbing, whatever. To make it short. Time is money, time is life. Will Solace is a poor guy. But he can't just ignore it. He has only 1 day left. So he can only work more every day to earn time for the next day. Otherwise, he'll die. This beautiful girl in front of him is Will's mother. She's 50 years old, she only has 3 days left. But she has to pay half of it for the rent and 8 hours for the water bill. So she doesn't have much left. This is the life of poor people. They have to work every day. Get discounted coffee. When there is an argument, they do arm wrestling to bet their life. Every time there are people who run out of time and die on the street. Will works at a bank. Last night he had to work overtime. But his boss didn't pay for the extra time. You work overtime because your productivity is low. If you want to keep the job, do not complain. That's all you get. Will is very angry, but he can't show it. So he starts to go clubbing. But the thing is, when bad luck arrives out of the frying pan, into the fire, he encounters some thieves. This is a time stealer. But fortunately there is a rich man in the bar. He has more than 100 years on his watch. Will is nothing to this man, who wants to steal from Will. The time stealer wants to arm wrestle with the rich man and conquer him. The rich man says, no problem, but he has to go to the toilet first, otherwise it may affect his performance. As a result, while standing in the next toilet room, Will saves the rich man. They both run to an old building. They are safe now. But when they stop, the rich man is not pleased. He thinks that Will is a meddler. He's been living for 105 years now, that's enough. He's rich, came from a rich neighborhood. He knows the rules of the time. The rich divides this world into different time areas. There are places with high time prices and places with high time taxes. Why is that? Because we have to control the macro. So the poor never has enough time to spend. And they have to work every day. So they can increase the labor force and control the population. There's no other ways. The resources for society are limited. They can only do so. The rich man is quite curious. He really wants to know that poor people like Will, if they have enough time, what would they do?
I'd stop watching it. I can tell you one thing. If I had all that time, I sure as hell wouldn't waste it.
They talk and drink, they get drunk and fall asleep. The next day, when he wakes up, Will realizes the rich man is no longer there and time on his hand is now much more than before. He turns down to look, it's 100 years. He raises his head and see on the window. It says, don't waste my time. Outside on top of the bridge, the rich man is quietly thinking about his life. The countdown time on his hand slowly turns to 0. Then he falls down. He's lived enough. Rich people's world confuses Will so much, but he doesn't wonder for long. Now he has 100 years, that's good enough. First Will comes to show it to his best friend. Hey bro, this is 10 years, take it. When you are in need, just tell me, see how many days I have. Then he buys some flowers and waits in front of his house. He prepares a surprise for his mom. But an incident happens that night. The bus fee increases suddenly, from 1 hour to 2 hours. His mom couldn't get on the bus today, so she has to run home on foot. Will sees that it's too late, but mom isn't home. So he's aware that something may have happened. Therefore he throws the flowers away and runs. One runs towards the east, one runs towards the west. They are about to touch each other. Will reaches out wanting to hold his mom. His mom almost runs into him. Unfortunately, time is not enough, almost is not enough. His mom dies before his eyes. Just because of the sudden change in bus fee. Will gets so angry. He wants to become evil, he wants to revenge. Wants to make those who set the rules pay their price. However, it's not easy to access to the rich neighborhood. In this world, time is money. Will wants to get a taxi, but the driver doesn't allow him. But when he shows his time, the driver is so surprised. He doesn't expect there is such a rich but honest person in this kind of place. The driver nods his head. Get in. They go through each toll station. The first one is 1 month. The second one is 2 months. Next he even pays 1 year. Big city is not simple for sure. Compared to the slum, this is a total different world. Look at this beautiful environment. Look at the buildings. Will has never imagined about these things. Will jogs to a hotel. He wants to book a room. But after a few steps he realizes this is not right. Everyone is walking. I look like a dumb if I run. So he slowly starts to walk. It's different now. Rich people don't have to run. 5-star hotel costs 1 month. Service fee costs 1 week. Will asks the server, normally where do rich people hang out? The server points at the opposite door. The Royal Casino. But if you don't dress properly you are not welcome. So at least we'll have to wear a bow tie and a tux. He only knows poker. This table has very high bets. The opposite person immediately bets 50 years. Will is even more than that. He bets all in. Bare feet aren't scared of shoes. He wants to revenge, wants to make them die for playing this game. He really wins. Will confidently swipes the time. But when he raises his head, the other just smirks, expresses no feeling. Some tens or hundreds years are a small amount spent in 1 day in their eyes. The other owns a bank, who also sets the rules. The bank owner is attracted by Will's strong and determined attitude. So he invites him to attend his personal dance party, and to play 2 more rounds at night. He introduces 3 pretty girls to Will. This one is my wife's mother, and this is my wife, and this girl is my daughter. They look like sisters. This is rich people's world. They can't die even if they want to. Sylvia looks at Will. She thinks he's handsome, so she asks Will out for a drink. Then they go swimming together. However, bad luck comes suddenly. They just have fun together, then the time police come. A while ago they found out someone died at the slum who was a rich man. Will had more than 100 years as soon as this person died. No need to think. This is an assassination. The police remove Will's time and only leave 2 hours left for him to give the statements. We can't confront with the dead. Will has no choice at all. He is very furious. He snatches a gun and drags Sylvia away with him. As Sylvia is the bank owner's daughter, she's useful as a hostage. Surely police and guards don't dare to move, so they escape. But danger is everywhere. They meet some robbers on the way. Their car has turned petitioners in the narrow lane. These are the time stealers in the bar that day. Will is not so luckily. After waking up they look at their time, there are only half an hour left. What should they do? Sylvia can only sell her diamond earrings. Continue their lives successful. This is not a long-term solution. Will and Sylvia discuss. Maybe call your dad, blackmail him. Our time is not enough. Hello, is this the bank owner? Your daughter is in my hands, transfer 1,000 years to me now or I'll kill her. Then they turns back to the hotel. Sylvia thinks she outsmarts her dad, but unexpectedly the bank owner doesn't give them time. They are very surprised. So the next day Sylvia couldn't help it but call his dad. Dad, yesterday were you drunk and forgot something? I am kidnapped. You don't want to use time to redeem me back. Aren't I your daughter? During the call the time police arrive. They are here to kill them. To protect themselves. Sylvia shoots the gun, defeating him. They steal the police's time and car. It's like that anyway, so they decide to follow the flow. Let's do some stealing. First they steal from some rich men. Then they rob the bank. During the whole escaping time. Every day Will would brainwash Sylvia. That rich people can do whatever they want while the poor are also poor no matter how much they try. This world shouldn't be like this. They have to reset this system. Steal from rich and give to poor. Sylvia agrees. Once a person has no tie they live very comfortably. Will and Sylvia go stealing in the morning and play cards at night during this time. They enjoy it very much. But that night the police arrive again. Sylvia is so amazing. She wears a pair of 20 centimeters high heels to jump and climb off walls smoothly. They hop on a bus. Finally drop the police off. Then they hug each other and enter a building. Continue to express their love. At this time some people come. The time stealers come to kill them. Sylvia and Will have been robbing everywhere. Their business gets bigger. Seriously affects his top stealer position in the slum. It can't be like that. So he comes here to stop these two. But this time stealer doesn't feel embarrassed at all. He forgot what happened at the bar. They do arm wrestling. Then he is killed. He deserves it. On the terrace Will and Sylvia see the police who arrive after being informed. They think keep hiding every day is not a good solution. Sylvia decides to solve the problem right from its root. Directly kill her father. She pretends to surrender to his dad. But then she realizes there are many guards around him. How can she kill him, really? Dad, you hire so many people. Sylvia looks innocent. But Will now quietly has his gun behind her dad. These two are so good. He can only order the guards to put down their guns. Then open the safe as requested. In the safe is 10 million years. Seeing that they are about to leave with the time. The dad helplessly says, this is useless. If this 1 million year falls into the poor's hands, it may change the life of 1 or 2 generations, but then, there will be new evils. The class discrimination, this is how the world is. You can't change anything. The dad thinks he says it well and can convince the two. But no well-educated meets illiterate. He thinks too much. Will leaves immediately after that. He drives to the poor neighborhood. The police follow right after but can't stop him. So they can only crash him. They both stop. Will gives 1 million year to the poor. They approach right away and separate the police. The two take the opportunity to run away. But this police is stubborn. It's very hard to cut him off. He catches up with them. So let's get it. The police has a gun. But Will and Sylvia have nothing. They can only surrender. Alright, you're good. What do you want then? The time stealer bullies the others. You don't arrest him, rich people. Who hide 1 million year. You also don't. Now we steal from the rich and give to the poor. This is a good thing. I'm in awe. Look, I only have 1 minute left. Do whatever you want. The police also see Will's struggles. So he talks a bit more with him. Sigh, everyone is miserable. I came from the slum as well. But look at me now, I'm doing this job. I'm working too. He gets more passionate and talks non-stop. He realizes he doesn't have much time left. The police can add his time once a day. He's too diligent today that he forgot to add more. The countdown's over. The police collapses. The remaining time is not much for Will and Sylvia. They're dead for sure, so they want to give this time to the other. Then a deep kiss again and again. They notice a police car from afar. Wait, seems like there is a hope. They run quickly to the car. Will arrives just at the last second. He hugs Sylvia. The tragedy doesn't repeat. They look at the time on their arms. 1 day left. There are many things that they can do. So this is the end. Because of his mom's unexpected death, Will changes completely. He's really unpleased with the time management. So eventually Sylvia and he collaborates to destroy the domination. To be honest, the ending is quite bad. What a pity, but in general it's pretty good. Time is money, the power to rule everything. Actually, the society we are living in is also a survival experiment. We're just so used to it already so we don't recognize the life results. But it is easily seen in fiction movie with a whole different setting just like this movie.